welcome back to Afternoon Express. And Tumi, I mean, finally, girl, every time I see your face, I just get happy.
I'm glad you do, because that's the whole idea of having me in your kitchen, to give you happiness.
Now, not only are we just celebrating with you, but we're also celebrating our heritage with Jenny Morris. Now, Jenny, you've got something special, ne?
Mm-hmm.
She's always got the tricks.
One of my favorites.
And let me tell you about that favorite. I mean, many of us grew up with dombolo or steamed bread, and I'm sure it just brings back so many happy memories. So this recipe is just a Herby steamed bread with spinach. It's Chef Tumi's favorite heritage dish. And of course, it is certainly going to get the whole family just reminiscing about all those incredible memories. Now, Tumi, I can already see you got the pots going, girl, so what do we need?
It's very important, Palisa, to make sure, before we get our steamed bread going, we need to make sure the water starts boiling, because we're steaming our steamed bread, Palisa. And all I'm needing here, we're calling it Herby because I'm adding herbs into the actual steamed bread. Most times people think that the steamed bread can just be plain, the flour and nothing else. There's so much flavor that you can pack into it, and this is the perfect vehicle for that. I've got my flour, and into this I'm going to add all the necessities for a steamed bread, like yeast and sugar and salt. But then I'm also adding some thyme into my steamed bread, and you could use any other hard herb that could also work. And instead of using water, I'm using some lukewarm Good Hope soy milk, Palisa. And you know this is the perfect dairy alternative. If you're trying to, perhaps get off normal dairy, you can actually use this in any application. You could use it in bacon, you could use it in cooking. So in this instance, I'm using it in my steamed bread today, Palisa.
What I love about the CLOVER Good Hope soy milk is that it's just made of the highest quality, non-GMO and naturally grown whole soybeans. Just ticking those boxes, making sure that it's also vegan friendly. I mean, it's just naturally dairy, cholesterol free, as Tumi has mentioned. It's also, though, preservative free.
Not only are we using it in our dombolo or steamed bread, Jenny, you're also going to be making umfino or spinach for us, yes. And we're also using it in there as well.
Absolutely. So it's totally vegan.
Totally vegan.
Talk us through what's in front of you, Jenny.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this up, which I should do now, actually, I think. Yes. So you can keep the bowl. I've got some beautiful, just listen to that crunchy, beautiful spinach, and I've got some onions, and we've got oil and garlic and some ginger and some turmeric, really, really nice, some barbecue spice, a little bit of curry powder, salt, pepper, and just the littlest bit of sugar to kick this all off with. And we're going to cook it down till it's nice and creamy. You see, and everybody thinks cream spinach could just needs to be with cream, but it doesn't, darling, because what have we got?
We've got some soy milk to use.
Yes.
You know, having these alternatives for me makes all the difference. At the end of the day, we are celebrating something that is Tumi's favorite, but I think it's safe to say it's everyone's favorite. I love myself with dombolo and ucheke. We grew up calling it also ucheke at the end of the day. And it just really is very reminiscent of all those memories growing up. So I'd also love to hear you share your memories with us on our social media pages. How hot does your pan need to be?
You know what, you want it to be nice and hot so that you get the caramelization happening. And we're going to quickly put our spices in so that they start to release their lovely flavors. So I'm going to go in with the ginger. I'll put the garlic last, because you know garlic can burn. And the turmeric and the curry powder and the barbecue spice, because you want that lovely depth of flavor. And if you like chili, you could add a couple of chilies or chili powder to this. Just look at this, it's smelling divine.
That's such a good idea, just adding whatever elements that you do want, depending on whatever flavor you want to come out. And then you just put the spinach in there.
And the spinach has got a very high water content. And if you look at this now and you say, oh my goodness, my spices might burn, you just take a little bit of a little good herb, and we stop it from continuing to cook out. So give it a little one of these.
And Palisa, this is the perfect alternative, especially if you've got people that are vegan at home or that are lactose intolerant. It's the perfect type of ingredient to use, because you don't have to exclude anyone from this type of dish. I love me some creamy spinach, and I know that if I'm going to have it, I don't necessarily want to be limited with the stuff that I can enjoy. This is why it's so perfect for that. Now, the biggest part with our dombolo, it's been proving, as you can see, all those air bubbles inside of there. I'm going to knock out that air. As you saw in our bread week, Palisa, we showed people exactly how to make bread. Now we're knocking out the air, and then I'm just going to roll it into a nice little beautiful ball, set it into our steamer, and let that steam for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then voila, that beautiful ball of steamed bread that you have in front of you, Palisa, that's what we're aiming for.
Okay, that is what I want. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks so delicious here, Tumi. And I love the fact that you can literally see the specks. Hey, Jenny, you can literally see the specks of time.
And you know what, gave it a little tongue, not the tongue tip test, because that's coming later, but I gave it a little bit of a pat, because I thought, oh, is that going to be hard or heavy? it's beautiful and light. So, and I had sterilized fingers when I touched it, just for your own information.
Very important news, very important news. This is coming together quite nicely. You did say a tinge of that sugar goes in. Why sugar?
Because the sugar just, like salt, it balances it out, and especially like with the spinach. Spinach has got quite a harsh flavour for people who have never had spinach before, and if it's like their little introduction to their new thing, and it's just that it works beautifully with the spices, you know. So,
and slowly but surely, you have been adding the Clover Good Hope into the whole mixture. I mean, it is just so easy to enjoy. And I love the fact that Tumi said you can even enjoy it in cereal, just on its own. That's how delicious it is.
It is, Balisa. And all we're going to do now, I'm going to pop our dombolo, our steamed bread, into the steamer here. It's going to cook down, steam beautifully for 35 to 40 minutes, and then that's it, Balisa. Simple, easy, and let that spinach cook down, and it's a meal.
yes.
Whilst everything is simmering down, get this recipe at afternoonexpress.co.za.
Soy goodness from nature. Source of plant protein. Naturally cholesterol-free, lactose-free. Made with love by Clover.